when I talk about my love for London rappers, the best lyricists in the world, mark my words.
Oh shit.
I don't care what nobody says, nobody can out-rap London. Nobody.
What's up? I'm Alicia.
I'm James.
And we are the Shooters.
Call them Jimmy Johns, cause them shooters gon' deliver.
So, let's set the scene. Drake just wrapped up a 3-day festival in London. While on stage, he hyped up the crowd as they yelled F word Kendrick.
Fuck Kendrick! Fuck Kendrick! Fuck Kendrick!
You know what? Charles, grab me a shot. I'll drink to that. Grab me a shot.
Also, he boldly said that London rappers are the best rappers ever.
The best lyricists in the world, mark my words.
Oh shit.
I don't care what nobody says, nobody can out-rap London. Nobody.
And to add another layer, he recently posted on Instagram saying that Billboard is suppressing him from going #1. So here's my question. Why do we keep calling Drake part of the culture when he keeps showing us he doesn't respect the culture? Because, let's be clear, hip-hop and everything that comes with it was made in America. It is a Black American art form. It was born in the Bronx. It was nurtured by Black communities and shaped by a very specific historic struggle. And you're telling me that somebody who benefited from this culture, this history, is now saying that London rappers are the best to ever do it. Thoughts?
I've been saying it for the longest. Drake needs to get himself together. Like, he has to go and get quiet. And I know he say he's Jewish. He needs to handle his spiritual self. Just got to get regulated, because this is not even about hip hop at this point. We're really just on stages saying words because you want anybody to be better than Kendrick. You want you want to give the flowers to anybody but Kendrick. And not even to just make it solely about the beef between him and Kendrick, but I do think that the beef is why he's kind of spiraling out of control. And then to have the chant going on in the same place and you're good with that, it's given to me I'm in need of desperate help. My image is shattered. I don't know how to pick up the pieces, so I'm doing anything to make myself feel better. I don't know what that has to do, what his statement has to do with anything real, with anything founded. To your point, people continue to try to protect him as if he is a part of the culture. That is entirely insulting. It's entirely insulting to the history of hip-hop. But you said it, and the only motivation I can get for why he said it is because you're wounded and you need to tend to your wounds. That's it. That's all. I don't know. It's embarrassing at this point.
I agree. I feel like love London rap all you want. Skepta, I think he's dope. Gigs, I think he's a dope rapper. Everybody who puts pen to paper and expresses themselves, dope. Love it. But don't erase the roots while you are trying to appeal to a new market, because the one that you used to appeal to or the one that you used to dominate, you are currently not. That's just how I feel about it. Honestly, it's not even just about the London comment, because I feel like it is a pattern with Drake. He dips into different cultures like Caribbean, Afrobeat, Houston chopped and screwed style, London grime. He borrows the sound, he borrows the slang, he borrows the aesthetic, but he never truly honors it. His pattern is to find a rising culture wave. He borrows the accents, the slang, the sound from that rising culture wave, and he drops a hit that becomes mainstream in his name. Then he moves on before he's fully held accountable for respecting the roots. His whole Controller, One Dance, that was a whole thing. The Dram song that he bit off of, he steals from different cultures and then he kind of goes like a thief in the night until he's ready to pick it back up again. It's one thing to love London rap, but it's a whole other thing to place it above the culture that birthed London rap and birthed whatever you do in rap. It's not just an opinion to say that London rappers are the best rappers. No disrespect to the US, no disrespect to my country.
No disrespect to America, no disrespect to my country, but Nobody can out-rap London rappers. This is the best, highest level. This is what I aspire to be.
It's insulting. It's disrespectful. It is mimicry. It is not homage. And it annoys me. To go along with this pattern, he has a habit of his response to a positive relationship with a cool person is to get the person tatted on his body. This is another thing that came out while he was doing the festival. He covered up his tattoo of LeBron with the tattoo of that other basketball player who was in the Who's Calling My Phone video. His name is right here. I saw Chilling with Moni said that'll show him. Like, what are you doing? I'm giving that example because it goes with his thing of borrowing. He's quite clearly not a part of the culture because he doesn't even know how to like be in it. It's like, I love this person so much. You know what I'm gonna do to show my love? I'm gonna get them tatted on my body. I heard him say at the festival, I love this person. I got him tatted on me. Blah, 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 blah. Then he introduced whoever he was talking about because I didn't watch full clips and I will be honest about that. But he's always showing us that he is not a part of the culture. He covered up one tattoo of a black man with another of another black man. None of these people are in his family. None of these people are deceased. Like, what's the significance? That is insane to me. I feel like he treats hip-hop like a costume. He puts it on when it benefits him and he takes it off when it's convenient. He also said on stage that he will clash with any rapper on stage.
3 nights headlining.
I don't know.
3 different sets.
I can't tell.
3 different vibes. You name another artist that can do it and bring him up here. We can clash right now. Anybody. That's what I'm here for.
Nobody, only Drake.
He said that before the crowd started saying F Kendrick. And that statement felt so hollow because if we're being real, the Drake of today, and I'm not talking about old Drake because we haven't seen him in ages, but the Drake of today is not going bar for bar with any lyricist. Not in a way that moves the culture forward at all. And that's just how I feel about it. And then the Billboard's post, he went on Instagram because he has a new song that has come out, the What Did I Miss song. We have a video out about that song now. It's number 2 on Billboard at the time of this recording. He posted a screenshot of the Billboard charts and he said they're suppressing me from going number 1. And then he said something about he's going to be back number 1. I don't really remember what he said. I'll put it right here. But instead of just making music and letting it fall where it falls on the charts, he is going with the narrative that they are suppressing him on the charts or whatever. I am not in the industry, so I can't really speak to that. But I don't think anybody or any entity is suppressing Drake more than Drake. I think the culture is kind of tired. I think that Drake's music is not connecting the same way it used to. I think that he continues to feed us the same formula that hits with some people and it doesn't hit with all the people that his music used to hit with. I'm one of them. I'm a person who used to be a Drake fan and haven't been even before the beef because his music has not been doing it for me for quite some time. Like, you can't keep feeding somebody the same formula, disrespecting the culture, and then crying industry politics when it doesn't hit. I just don't know. But what are your thoughts?
Simply because when it works for him, it's fine. If it works for him, it's acceptable. But the minute that he falls short of the standard of excellence, the mode of measurement for what is excellent in the industry, if he falls short, then it's got to be skewed, and that is delusional. The double standard, of course, for one, is an actual thing. When it's good for me, it's all right. When it's bad for me, it's not. But also, it's like, dude, how fragile are you for real? Like, how insecure are you for real? And why are we? I don't understand why people consistently, I just said this earlier about a person with the same narcissistic traits that Drake is displaying. If you continue to insulate Drake, how is Drake getting any kind of help? He is literally spiraling. It's embarrassing, honestly, to see how he continues to shoot himself in the foot. I think that was a heavy statement how you put it. The only one who really is hindering Drake at this point is Drake, because Drake really will not get back in the writer's room. He really did just go through something. I think it was a lot for him losing the battle like he did, but it makes sense. He had this sort of fall from grace in a sense, or just like a thing that happened that broke the glass on what he projected himself to be. So it could be a heavy reckoning moment for him to kind of become grounded again, reroot himself in true identity, if he ever had one. I don't even know if I would say that. Maybe it's time this season to actually find it, and find it in his words, find it in his writing, in his art. But he's literally refusing to do so. And every time that you open your mouth, you are applauding, dragging another man who is of the culture. And that's another thing about us that I feel like we're missing. It's really not black culture. I don't feel like we're missing it. I feel like we're not holding Drake accountable to it. But is it really black culture for us to just be on some standing completely against somebody else who is promoting black excellence? That's really not what we do. That's not what we do. And Kendrick ain't done nothing to him. Like, he hasn't done anything to him. They participated in a rap beef that Drake initiated, Drake lost. That's really the end of it. But to literally get on stage and to promote a chant of F Kendrick like he has, why is you acting like somebody did something to you? Nobody did nothing to you. You lost the battle. And to continue to promote culture, act like you're of the culture, continue to put on the drip like you do, talk like you do, like you super hard, which I cannot understand. And also allow people to just drag another man who is for the culture, who is for black excellence, his name through the mud. Why are we promoting that? Why are we promoting that? It doesn't mirror us, and it doesn't mirror black excellence. I'll close that up with saying, as long as we continue to insulate Drake, Drake gets no help. That doesn't help Drake. This is not acceptable behavior. It's embarrassing. He needs to sit down and take care of himself.
So yes, let's talk about nostalgia versus accountability. So let's ask the real question. Why do we keep coddling Drake? Because we do. We protect Drake in ways that we don't protect other artists. We excuse the accents, the tings, and the mind them slang. Why? Is it because he gave us hit? Is it because he made a few classic mixtapes? Is it because he is the soundtrack to a lot of our childhoods, a lot of our 20s? Some of y'all's 30s. I feel like it is nostalgia that keeps the masses protecting Drake. And I feel like it's also the fact that he is the biggest streaming artist in the world, so people think he must represent the culture because he's so visible. It brings to mind a comment that you got on TikTok earlier when the girl didn't agree with your opinion, and she said that your opinion was not the popular one. And my response to that was, when did popularity equate to correctness or righteousness? Like, when has that ever been a thing? I don't understand. Drake being the biggest streaming artist doesn't mean that he is the one doing everything right. It doesn't mean he's the most authentic. It doesn't mean he's the one who's the most of the culture. I don't really understand that. I do think that it is more so nostalgia than what he's actually showing us, because what he's showing us is the complete opposite. And again, stop asking Kendrick to stop singing Not Like Us on his tour, as long as the boy gets on stages and drags things as he's continuing to do. I'm not holding him responsible for the crowd saying F Kendrick, because he didn't tell them to say that. But I am holding him accountable for how he responded to it, because he responded to it by saying,
you know what? Charles, grab me a shot. I'll drink to that. Grab me a shot.
You say that, but then in your song, What Did I Miss? I don't give a if you love me. I don't give a if you like me. Yes, you do. And yes, you do. And yes, you do. If you don't give a who love you or like you, act like it. I know who is acting like it. No matter how many times Kendrick performs that song, because it's a part of his set list, he's not taking any time that he uses to interact with his audience to talk about Drake. He's using that time to big up Solana. He's using that time to say how hyped the crowd has been the whole time. He's using that time to thank people for buying tickets. He's not using that time to ask Dave Free to bring him a shot because the crowd said something rude about Drake. Do you think that it is nostalgia that keeps us protecting him, or is it that he just truly does need to be protected in this culture, caught up in this culture because he gave it so much?
No, I think it's layered. I don't think it's the latter of what you said. I do think nostalgia plays a part in it, and I don't have a problem with nostalgia. Like, that's okay. It's okay to love the music that you love. I don't even care about people loving the music that he put out now. That's y'all's business. The problem, I feel like, that is the underlying layer to it, is where there is like this sensitivity to this bright-skinned Canadian man that I feel like kind of roots, or is kind of connected to systemic racism. I don't know why we feel like accountability is so bad. Like, that's why I said I don't have a problem with nostalgia. But that doesn't mean that Drake can't be held accountable or shouldn't be held accountable. But we literally are treating him or letting him act like the colonizer within the culture. And I don't understand that. I don't even want to say that it's solely because he the light-skinned boy from Canada. I don't know what y'all love about him aside from, like you said, old music. I don't know. But I seen the same kind of thing happen. You know, we've been watching Love Island kind of heavy, and we saw a similar situation where a woman who is not black, not white, but not black, show her behind in the villa, cussing people out, going on a rampage, just doing the most belittling and just throwing a fit. Ultimately, from beginning to end, she had been manipulative, been gaslighting the other participants, just doing the absolute unhealthy most. And the world rallied behind her. She made it from episode 1 to episode 36. No accountability. And all I'm saying is that I think there is some kind of connection here whenever it comes to Drake's presence in our culture. I just feel like people are giving him a pass that he does not deserve, because if you open your eyes, even in the midst of your love for him, and we was having this conversation the other day, I think somebody had commented and said something about people really calling Drake a PDF file. Y'all acting like, or people acting like that ain't something to be mad about. I can understand why Drake would be mad about that. But as long as you're only defending Drake for being mad, you're not considering why that message has so much weight. Which means that you're also leaving some other people who could have been affected by his actions unprotected. What about them? Like, what about them? It doesn't mean that you gotta love Drake less. It doesn't mean that you gotta like Drake less. Nobody over here hates Drake. We don't know that man. But accountability has been the word of the season. It has literally been from episode 1, we've been talking about accountability in the culture. How everybody gotta be accountable except the white man. And it's just like, dude, Drake being insulated and being allowed to just do whatever because you like him. When did that become liking? I just said this the other day. I don't have a problem with a supporter for a person that I don't necessarily agree with. If you're gonna support somebody, that's fine. Everybody need a little bit of support. But what is support? What is a crutch? Literally, I think this is about to be a direct quote. It came off the dome the other day. But crutches are used for people who have some kind of impairment from the waist down. And you use it until you're healthy enough to walk on your own again. Till your healing has come to an end. And you can stand on your own 2 feet. If you want to be a supporter, but be a legitimate supporter. Be a legitimate person who is holding somebody up. And that means holding them accountable. It doesn't mean that you can't have nostalgia and have accountability at the same time. So when we start talking about the reasons why, and I'm grasping, I'm looking for them. I'm trying to understand. And I can't see nothing but y'all coddling this Canadian who does not know who he is. Literally does not know who he is, but because he make y'all dance and wave your hands, you want to act like he don't do no wrong. I just don't understand that. And again, I mean, to relate it to the colonizer of it all, I said that, I think in the comments too. That's the only thing that kind of keeps coming up in my brain. There is some kind of connection here to him being foreign, different, acceptable, and y'all want him to be gang so bad, but it doesn't stick. And he literally, this entire event, from saying that no rapper going harder than the rappers in London, whatever the direct quote was, I don't know. It's a spit in the culture's face. Even if he did lose the rap battle, because that's a truth, it happened. He lost the rap battle, the rap beat. Allowing the crowd, like, you don't have to be a petty man to stand in a crowd as the leader in the room to take a shot to the crowd screaming F Kendrick. It doesn't make you a bigger man. It doesn't make you a mature man. And it doesn't help you get your stuff off because you feel some type of way about losing the battle. It doesn't honor the culture, because if you genuinely felt some type of way about losing the battle, you would be back in the writer's room. But instead, you're taking shots while somebody else who is of the culture that you claim to be a part of is being disrespected. We don't move like that. Black people really do not move like that. So I don't know. Y'all tell us what y'all think. Like, what is it? Make it make sense to me. I don't have no other answers.
All right, so that's pretty much how we feel about that. To close this out, where does hip hop draw the line? Hip hop has always held people to a standard. If you were not authentic, you got called out for that historically. But for some reason, Drake is the one artist who continuously gets to skip that toll. And honestly, I think it's because he is a pop star who raps. He's not actually of the culture. He is more adjacent to it. And he needs hip hop for credibility, as many people do. But he doesn't feel any responsibility to protect it as other people who are of the culture do. So when he says things like, London rappers are the best ever. Or when he does things like make songs with known races and performs with known races a couple weeks ago, it makes sense because he's not thinking like someone who sees themselves as a custodian of hip hop. He's thinking like a performer who just wants to win the crowd in that moment. Someone posted a long time ago, he posted his top 5 rappers. None of them were London rappers. So it's really like, what reason do you have to say that they're the best rappers ever? Please know that me saying that is taking nothing away from London rappers. I personally have a lot of Skepta songs in my library. I personally think Gigs is dope. Those are the 2 I'm naming because those are the 2 that I think are dope. Not taking anything from them, but I do think Skepta has been tripping lately with this continuously trying to bring up this UK versus US conversation. I want him to stop. And yeah. But anyway, Drake often tries to win the moment. That's why he's going to London and saying that London has the best rappers. And hip hop is global now. It started in America. It's global now. So there is room for London grime. There is room for Afrobeat influences. There is room for drill rap. There is room for all these different things. But global does not mean without roots. It does not mean rootless. Global doesn't mean you erase the fact that this is Black American culture. Hip hop can be worldwide without losing sight of where it came from. But Drake's comment did not celebrate global rap. That's not what his comments did. They undermined the people who birthed the entire genre. And that's the part that I cannot ignore. That's the part that does not sit right with me. I just talked about, in I think our last video, how Kendrick is one of the most culturally sound public figures, let alone rappers, custodians of hip hop, of the culture of today. He doesn't do anything without paying homage to some aspect of Black culture. I talked about how Kung Fu Kenny, that whole persona, is paying respect to Don Cheadle in one of the best movies that they've ever given the culture, Rush Hour 2. He couldn't get his point across at the Super Bowl without paying homage to the culture. Samuel L. freaking Jackson to play Uncle Sam. It's natural to him to just pay homage to the culture because he loves it. In freestyles where he is talking about how he's the best, he's still paying homage to the people who came before him. In the verse that I just broke down on our YouTube channel, he said half his profits might go to Rakim. Rakim is the reason that Kendrick raps the way he raps, and it's the reason that anybody who tries to rap like a lyricist raps the way they rap. And he did not let that verse go by without paying homage to Rakim. He's of the culture. And so it's not even, what did he say on his interview for the Super Bowl? I'm Black. It's not something I have to think about. He just Black. You know? And so there's a difference there. So anyway, here's what I want our listeners to think about and answer in the comment section, please. If hip hop is global now, who decides what's authentic in the culture? Is it the artists? Is it the fans? Is it the culture itself? I want y'all to sit with that. I want you to answer that question in the comments because, like, it's a lot of talk about who gets to say what about what. So who gets to decide what's authentic? Who gets to say, yes, Drake is of the culture? If it's not his actions, then what is it?
When you were talking about how there's space for all these different kinds of rap, here's another metaphor or way to look at it. I just left Chicago visiting one of my friends, and she was explaining to me how she had a friend who lived in Chicago for a little while, but he had comments about how the city just was not united. And her being from there, she was explaining like this region of Chicago is for the Latino community. This region is for the Asian community. This region is for the Black community. Whoop de whoop. And she was just talking about how the restaurants, like the feel for whatever the region is catered to that culture. And immediately I'm like, bro, that made perfect sense to me. Like I would want to be able to enter into a space and honor that space and learn of that space and still know that I get to go home to my own space and do my own thing with my own people in my own culture. Like, culture is preserved, even though the outsider coming in had something to say, or he felt indifferent toward it as a person who was from there. And I just think it's just ingrained in me. I feel like another way you can look at it is like, we went to HBCUs. Clark Atlanta has a culture. Spelman, Morehouse have different cultures. TSU, Tuskegee, I mean, they all have different ways, like, and it's a different feel whenever you're on their campuses. They bring their own things, but when we come together, I mean, we are a unit of HBCUs. Like, we have one purpose, one founding purpose. Like, and we each honor that in our own ways. And when we come together, it's a good time. But we also have our own culture. Like, we returned to Clark, Atlanta after the game, after the Tuskegee game, and they go back to Alabama. And after we done turned up and all the things, we still do stuff our way. Like, and it's okay. It's all right. And it's like, I was thinking about that in comparison to the differences in Chicago, just the different regions. And again, how culture is preserved. And that's a beautiful thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a thing that should be respected. You don't have to have a melting pot to have something great. And when I think about this in relation to Black culture, I would add to that, like, how are we preserving the good that we created? How are we having people to respect the defined lines? And is Drake doing that? If he's not doing that, I guess this will help to define like where you stand with it, with the question that Shooter was asking. If he's not doing that, if he's robbing us of something, because I feel like if I was a person in Chicago who wanted to go into the Latino part of the community and start trying to change stuff around, I'm out of place. If somebody from Tuskegee came to Clark, Atlanta without really trying to learn how we do what we do, I don't feel like that's right. I don't feel like that's fair. I don't feel like that's cool. Like, we love our school and we love it for very particular reasons. We got a particular feel, and I feel like they would feel the same way if we was to come from Clark, Atlanta and come in as administrative people and try to start changing and shifting stuff to make it Clark, Atlanta. No, we're missing the good. So when you think about that question, I would say, like, who's responsible for checking people? Like, who is responsible for preserving the good that is our culture? And think about it like where your heart is at. Who birthed you? Who raised you? Like, and what it would feel like to have erasure or a big melting pot. Like, it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be as strong, as potent if everybody just blurred the lines and everybody just got all kinds of creds and if everybody came in and changed things because they just wanted to. Like, that doesn't, like I said, it wouldn't be as potent. It wouldn't be as powerful. So anyway, when you were talking about how there's room for all these different things, especially under the umbrella of rap. Like you said before, these other kinds of rappers exist because of what was birthed over here and why it mattered over here. That's good. And it's fine for them to express whatever way they want to express. There's nothing wrong with that. But do we dishonor the founding mothers and founding fathers and call that culture and call that respectable? I don't think that that's right. I don't think that that's fair. And I feel like only a stranger would do something like that. Only a stranger would expect to come into what's home and just deconstruct it. How are y'all taking care of home?
Thank you for tuning in to All Things Lit. Make sure you subscribe. We just hit 2,000 subscribers, so shout out to the community. We love y'all, and we are so committed to being consistent. So yeah, tell your friends, and your mama.
We appreciate y'all for sure. Shout out to y'all.
Let us know in the comment, are we being too hard on Drake, or is it finally time to call it what it is? We want to know what you think, as long as you are being respectful. And we will see you next time on All Things Lit.
Shooters out.
Calling Jimmy John's got them shooters on deliver.